Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out at the range with some gun belts. Maybe you call them a war belt or battle belt or something like that. What you see here on the hood of the Jeep is a Hight Threat Concealment rig. This is a rig that I first started using a couple of years ago. If you watched me during my Academy video when I was out there doing some video work and some training, this is when I was first introduced to this system. The Hight Threat Concealment rig that you see here was designed by a contractor who developed the system while he was deployed overseas. The whole point of the system is to hold all of your gear as closely as possible to your body. The traditional war belt, which you see here, this is an HSGI belt, which I've worn, used, and liked, has a few inherent flaws. And we'll talk about what the differences are, what some of those flaws are, and what the Hight Threat Concealment system does to remedy those issues. So today, that's what we're going to talk about, and let's do a little bit of shooting and take a closer look at the Hight Threat Concealment rig. At first glance, the Hight Threat Concealment rig may look like just your standard Kydex rig with some interlocking components. Well, first of all, they make it abundantly clear that they don't use Kydex. It's a product called Boltron, and it's a thermoplastic that's higher grade than Kydex. It does interlock, and as you can tell, the system sets really close to my body. The thing that sticks out the most, of course, is the blowout kit. I'll show you here in a few minutes how easily that blowout kit comes off. The next thing that is really neat about the system, besides being so close to your body, it's the fact that it uses an underbelt, which is nothing new. This has been done before, but the underbelt is made of Velcro, and you can see even while it's unclipped, the gun belt stays in place. It doesn't move around. That's because the underbelt is made out of Velcro. When I put the belt on, it's held in place. It's extremely comfortable. What I found in the past with your traditional war belts, they ride up when you're kneeling down, you're doing a lot of body motions. Like if I were to kneel down right now, I can come down, I can come up, I can hang upside down, I can do all sorts of stuff, and the position of my gun belt never changes. I've tried with traditional war belts everything from using suspenders and leaving them kind of loose so gravity keeps it down, but then when you're running, it's bouncing up and down on your chest. I've just never found a really good way, outside of using an underbelt, to get a good fit with a war belt. So the HTC belt system actually does a really good job of staying close to the body. When you pull your pistol out, it is a tension fit. You can get these holsters made for any number of type of different pistols. As you guys know, for a long time I carried a Glock 19 and used a Glock 17. My original HTC rig, which is black, is set up for a Glock. When I went out to buy a new system, I could have just purchased another holster and put it into that system because you can change out the various components, but I decided to go with the complete new system set up for my VP9, which is my new primary carry gun. I also wanted flat dark earth. I just prefer the brown color versus the black these days. So that's the other thing that you can do, is you can configure these systems any number of different ways. When you go to the website, they have a configurator and you can pick the components that you want. Starting off, you're looking at about $450 for a complete rig like what you see me wearing right now. Now, before you get sticker shock, think about this. The HSGI rig that I showed you earlier, outfitted completely the way that I set it up, the way that I like it, running RTI rigs and G-code holsters and the tacos and the Cobra buckle and belt with the HSGI overbelt, all that stuff actually costs more than the system I'm wearing right now. But this system fits closer and fits more tightly and better with my body type and just in general. Let's take a closer look at the interlocking system of the rig. First of all, it has a Cobra buckle. These are high-grade buckles, extremely durable. You could hang from this thing if you had to. If you apply pressure and try to release the buckle, it won't release. You have to release the pressure, and then it easily comes undone. Inside, you'll see how the belt threads through all the loops to the interlocking components. This is Velcro on the inside, once again, for that underbelt. The system holds its shape, and it sets, again, very close to the body because of this interlocking design. You can see how screws hold each of the components together as they interlock and create a C-shaped semicircle. When you're buying the gun belt, you can add and remove components. You don't have to have 2 pistol magazines, you don't have to have 2 rifle magazines, you don't have to have a blowout kit, you don't have to have a radio pouch or whatever. There's quite a few different options you can add and remove from this system. But again, just the basic system, as you see configured here, is about 450 bucks. I like to have a med kit with me. You see this little handle here? If you want to get your med kit off, you just grab the handle, or your buddy can grab the handle, yank, and the med kit comes off. Inside, you can have all the medical supplies that you need, tourniquets and stuff like that. And that's what this loop here on top is meant for, is a tourniquet. Now, I've pirated some of the kit out of this med kit from this belt to my new belt, which you'll see here now. And you can see the tourniquet on top of the system. But what's notable is that when you have that med kit removed, now the gun belt is very narrow and sets much closer to the body and is more concealable. You'll notice it doesn't have that puffiness now that it would have otherwise with the med kit. And again, the med kit's completely optional. If you don't want a blowout kit on your gun belt, you don't have to put a blowout kit on it. All these components, again, are user selectable, and it's something you can do with the configurator on their website. So it can actually cost less than 450 bucks if you want to leave some stuff off. But overall, I found the system to be extremely durable and lightweight and exceptionally comfortable. I know I keep saying that, but it's really important. Another thing that's changed with the recent, or some updates, I mean, this is an older gun belt, this one's a couple years old. This is the newest model. You'll notice that, for example, the magazine pouches are no longer directional. If you carry rounds forward or rounds back, it doesn't matter. Even though the M16 type magazine pouch here looks like it's directional, you can still put it in. Everything still locks into place. Nothing falls out. It's tensioned very nicely. You can carry rounds forward or rounds back. It's totally up to you, depending on how you like your magazines oriented. This is just one of several different types of pouches. I just wanted another admin pouch where I could put stuff in here. But you can get radio pouches, stuff like that, or once again, you can just delete it if you don't want it at all. I like to have a little extra storage space. On the gun holster itself, you have a tensioning screw so you can control how tightly the holster grips your pistol, and they have quite a few holsters available for a wide variety of handguns. Of course, the VP9, I was really surprised when I went to their website when I was looking for a new setup that they actually had the VP9 pretty early, so they stay on top of things. And if you have a handgun that they don't have a holster for, you might want to contact them and see if they can help you out. I don't know if they would or wouldn't be able to, but like I said, because they had the VP9, they're one of the few companies right now that are actually offering VP9 holsters. Going forward, you're going to find this is my gun belt of choice. If you go to a lot of training classes and stuff like that, it's a good idea to pick gear and stick with it. I've tried a bunch of different gear out there, and there's some benefits to gear, such as the HSGI gear. I love this stuff. We even sell this stuff at Copper Custom. The taco pouches are awesome because I can run AR magazines in there without changing a single thing. I can put AK magazines in it and things like that, but it comes at the expense of thickness. You can see how thick this system is. Also, inside, I like the neoprene idea. It does get hot in the summer, but the neoprene helps it stay more tightly secured to your body. But even with this system, I found with a lot of movement, running around and diving and rolling and stuff like that you may have to do in a fighting pistol class, this belt system will still move around on you unless you use an underbelt system. With the with the Hight Threat Concealment system, you don't have to worry about any of that. It's extremely comfortable, extremely durable, and extremely well planted compared to other systems I've tried. I'm sporting my stylish Copper Custom lightweight and rather short jacket, and underneath it I have a Hight Threat Concealment rig going. I just don't have the blowout kit on it. Very concealable, right? As you can see, got the full rig on, minus the blowout kit. Very concealable system if it needs to be. And just for the sake of comparison, here's my old war belt system that I used to use under the same jacket. not quite as concealable, quite a bit bulkier. And the other downside is that it moves up and down too easily. This one stays planted fairly well. I've seen worse, but the Hight Threat Concealment rig, definitely with its underbelt system, works a lot better. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the Hight Threat Concealment rig. It's my personal choice for gun belts going forward. When I take classes this coming year, I hope to go out to Valor Ridge and visit Reed here really soon, maybe hang out with some other YouTubers and take some training classes from him, and perhaps do some other training this year. If I shoot video at those classes, I'll post them, and you will see this gear. Again, I was first introduced to this gear when I was out at Academy, aka Blackwater. Those guys out there were running it, and it's something that's very popular with contractors. Also, the State Department, if I'm not mistaken, a few other government agencies have adopted this gear and use it overseas on deployment. So it's a popular system with the types of people that go into harm's way. If you guys have any questions about anything you've seen in this video, you can ask those questions on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/military arms. Also, please come by and check out Copper Custom. That's our online store. If you'd like to support the Military Arms channel, that's the best possible way to do it. And if you haven't already, please check out full30.com. That's full30.com. It's a community by us, for us. You'll find some of the top content creators featured there. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon.